Good morning, everyone. As Matthew approaches us, I want to reiterate to people to be prepared. Don't be afraid. Just be prepared. We're going to talk here in a few minutes about your city, and everything around it is ready for this. We want to make sure that you, the people, are prepared for Matthew. I am declaring effective immediately a state of emergency for the city of Jacksonville and Duval County. What that means is that we will have access to the resources that we need to make sure that we can handle the storm and that we can keep people safe. The declaration of emergency is given what is approaching. We have 30 to 50 mile per hour winds approaching, gusts that could be 60 to 80 miles per hour. We will be closing the city for non-essential employees on Thursday and Friday. We've spoken with the superintendent of the schools and are working together. Schools will be closed Thursday and Friday throughout the city and the county, and after-school activities today will not happen. Given the expected storm surge, particularly at the beaches, of 3 to 6 feet, and in a worst-case scenario, 7 to 9 feet, I am ordering an evacuation of the 3 beaches cities. That is all of the beaches cities. So whether you are on the water or if you are inland, we are ordering an evacuation. Now let me be clear about something. The schools are closed Thursday and Friday. If you have kids in school today, there is no need to pull them out for an evacuation. Go do what you need to do to prepare. When your kids get home from school, that would be the appropriate time to leave. If you are in a low-lying area, an area that you know floods in our city, you know your area, you know your home, you know your neighborhood, I would suggest that you leave as well, given the expected storm surge and even potentially the worst-case scenario. Go to friends, go to family. We're going to announce shelters here shortly. The sheriff and his team are here. They will be announcing and working with the public on evacuation routes today. I would also remind people that South Carolina is ordered an evacuation, so there could be some traffic flows from South Carolina if you're heading north. The St. Johns River Ferry will be shut down Friday. Is that tomorrow or Friday?
Friday.
Friday. St. Johns River Ferry will be shut down Friday. The Skyway will be discontinued Friday, and Friday bus schedules will represent a Sunday schedule. We have the disaster recovery cut and toss teams ready and manned at 10 fire stations so they can be prepared to clear the way after the storm so that appropriate public safety, utility workers, public workers, etc. have access. Stormwater crews are ready to go also to deal with drainage concerns, 10 public works stormwater crews. I would remind people that if stoplights are out, that is a 4-way stop sign. There will be no garbage pickup on Friday. That garbage will be picked up on Saturday. Expect power outages. They will likely happen. JEA has been working with the state, working with us, working with utilities in the West and contractors and positioning assets to make sure that they can move quickly. However, I would remind the public that we will not put our utility workers in harm's way. They will approach to restore power when it is safe for them to do so. So to the people of Jacksonville, do what you need to do to prepare for power outages, whether it's generators, make sure you have water, make sure you have food. And with that, I'll take any questions, or actually, Sheriff, did you want to talk a little bit about
Sure.
routes?
Yeah, I'll touch base a little bit on the routes. So as the mayor mentioned, we were talking about the evacuation of coastal areas and some low-lying areas within the county. Just some suggested routes of travel. We have no plans to contraflow any of the highways, so we want to use existing highways and our existing routes to leave the coastal areas. If you're going to take I-95 north, we encourage you to use the Beltway. You can also, if you're at Neptune Atlantic, you can use Atlantic Beach or Atlantic Boulevard, Beach Boulevard. All of those normal routes of travel aside from I-10 and I-95, think about those as you plan today, how you're going to leave the city and utilize some of those alternate routes. So we'll continue to put this information out in a lot more detail in the next several hours, again, about routes of travel. We will have officers along those routes of travel to make sure that we have traffic flowing adequately, again, to help people leave just the coastal areas, again, and the low-lying areas of the city. So we will continue to put this information out via the media. We also put it out via Twitter at JSOPIO, so just follow us there, and again, you'll get the quickest updates. And if anything changes on that, we will let you know. But we'll do that later on this afternoon and put some more information out on the travel routes.
Is this a mandatory evacuation?
Look, I'm suggest people need to evacuate the beaches. We're not going to arrest people if they don't leave. We're certainly not going to go in there and hold them accountable from a law enforcement perspective. But they need to know that when this thing hits and people have evacuated, there will not be public safety folks available to help them. So if you're in the beaches cities, leave.
Do you want to talk about shelters since you're asking people to leave?
Sure. Director, can you please speak to the shelters?
Yes, thank you. Good morning. As the mayor mentioned, if people are seeking a safe place to go, highly recommend they try to find a family or a friend that they could stay with and get away from the beaches particularly. We will later today be opening the Legends Center at 5130 Sutel Drive, and that will accommodate special needs persons as well. And then tomorrow we'll be opening additional shelters and schools, and we'll be announcing those to you. But the Legends Center will be the first to open. Okay.
People are obviously going to start wondering, particularly special needs. Have they all been registered? Do you need to know the special needs people? Where do they go, and will they be taken to a shelter? How will that work?
Yeah, we'll be reaching out to the special needs clients, particularly those who live at the beaches and would be impacted by this evacuation. Other people can still register. We encourage people to call 630-CITY for additional information and to coordinate any assistance that they might need.
When should evacuation start? Immediately or tomorrow? Or when do you guys tell people to leave?
Preparation should start now. If you're in a position in the beaches where you can evacuate now, I would suggest that you leave. You have time. Again, if you have kids in school, if you have things that you need to do, the impact of this, while there will be some bans that begin to hit us today and tomorrow, the significant impact will be late Thursday. Is that where it starts? And then it will get much worse through Friday. So begin now. No need to panic. No need to be afraid. Just prepare. Get your stuff together and leave today if you're in those areas. And look, if there's anybody out there that's concerned about an inconvenience of an evacuation, I would suggest deal with the inconvenience. We're talking about public safety here. We're talking about your lives. We're talking about your family's lives. And hopefully it's only an inconvenience.
Mayor, what kind of emergency reserve do we have in case the worst happens, we get directed with the Iowa, so on?
Well, declaration of a state of emergency, we have what we need. The governor's also declared that, so in conjunction with them, we will be able to respond and act accordingly, real time, with a plan, with no resource issues.
Mayor Curry, this is the most similar and recent to Floyd, which a lot of people had trouble getting out of the city. So can we talk about the decision to not reverse flow, and for people who maybe remember sitting in traffic for so long then?
Sure, and we have that. Sheriff, you want to talk a little bit about that?
So that's something that we've talked about that this morning already, and we're going to continue to monitor that. I think we've got a long timetable for people to, again, just in the coastal areas, to get things together and move north, move west. Lots of options, lots of travel routes available. I think that timetable was compressed a bit in '99 with Floyd. So this gives us, again, more time for people to make that decision, make their preparations, and get in their vehicles, and again pick appropriate routes. And make the evacuation. So again, just for the coastal areas, so I don't anticipate any issues. However, we're going to continue to monitor that, and if we see something develop, we'll talk about alternate plans to again help people move along.
We've already had issues. There's already backups, and that's been the concern that people are leaving now. And what would cause you to change it to a reverse flow?
Well, again, we're going to have to monitor that and keep tabs on the amount of traffic in an area, how many choke points we have. Can we divert people away from those choke points to other areas? Are people actually using the alternate routes? All that's got to be evaluated as the evacuation unfolds. So we can't anticipate that at this point. So as soon as it begins to unfold and we begin to monitor that, we'll know more. And again, we'll push information out through the media as much as we can about, hey, you know, this is a route that's not being utilized. Use this route. So again, we anticipate things flowing well with the timetable that we had to make it happen.
What I-10, which during Floyd was only one way and was backed up for 10 hours, people ran out of gas, whereas right now they're using I-16 out of Savannah, both lanes going.
Right, and again, something that we're going to monitor. That's a decision that's going to be made at the state level, and we're in conversation about that right now. So as soon as, you know, again, we feel the need to do that, we'll crank those conversations up, and you know, but again, it's an ongoing evaluation, and we don't know till we get in the middle of it about what we're going to be dealing with.
We were on the phone with the state EOC. We've been in touch with the governor's top team on discussions, access to Florida Department of Transportation, FHP, to make sure that JSO and roadways can react and move as nimbly as needed.
Is anybody west of the intercoastal, they don't have to evacuate, they're going to be okay? Is everybody just east of the intercoastal, you want to evacuate?
Yeah, we are. If you are in the beaches cities, that is correct. We want you to evacuate. If you are in a low-lying area and you have flooding and you've had storm surge, you know your neighborhood and you know your home, I would suggest that you pack up and go somewhere.
In previous hurricanes, we've used mandatory evacuation or voluntary. Is there a distinction there? And I notice you're not using either of those.
Well, look, I mean, again, you're talking semantics. Are we going to go in, if someone doesn't evacuate the beaches, are we going to go in and fine them or enforce a law against them? No. But they will have no access. It's important that they know this. They will have no access to public safety workers or any other governmental service needs that they may need. Particularly in a storm and after a storm.
Have you talked to the governors, or maybe the governor has through him, the governors north of us? I know Governor Haley made a lot of these decisions yesterday as far as evacuations.
I've been in regular contact with Governor Scott and with his team on this, specifically on this storm, and it's a coordinated effort, as has the JEA and the utility company. But look. Will there be inconvenience? Absolutely. There is a big storm headed our way. We have to expect some inconvenience. We are prepared for it. We're asking the people of Jacksonville to prepare for it, to minimize it and mitigate it. So let's all do our part.
You're talking, we're now talking about zones. You're saying the beaches, low-lying areas. Is that zone A, the red zone on the maps?
That's AB.
A and B, the red and orange.
A and B.
So you want A and B because those places are all over the city as well.